Hello everyone, this is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. Welcome to our 5th class the 5th senior class. And we're going to be doing, yesterday, the last session, which I taught yesterday, we were doing some standing postures and some flows. We will do some today, but I think I would like to do some abdominal work. We'll do some standing poses as well. Always know you can use the chair as your support. You can always do things on the chair. I'll show you a few things today that how you can do some lunges using the chair, just sitting. Just little different options for people who might not be able to stand. It's uncomfortable for them to stand, or they're not able to. Weights, small weights. These are things you don't necessarily need, but it might be handy to have at some point. These are little Pilates balls, a strap, but it doesn't have to be a yoga strap. It's just you can grab a belt or a scarf, and a towel that we use primarily for some hand work, feet work, and sometimes stretching. And so just a small hand towel. Okay, so we will get started. We're going to actually get started with just first sitting up, but I'm going to do some circles to loosen up our spine, get our spines nice and warm. We're going to do some neck stretching, and then we'll get on with the major part of the class. So let's start with just leaning forward, and then that circle to the right, and lean back and make sure there's space behind you. If you can create some space, and sit up about halfway on the to the center of the chair, in the center of the chair, and then go around and around. And then let's come back to center, and let's go in the other direction. Go around, and each time you circle, you might find that you can make these circles a little bit bigger. Notice how the hips feel. And then come back up to center. Let's just take your right hand on your right thigh, and then pick your left arm up, and then stretch over to the right. Let's do a few little stretches. And then inhale, left hand on your left thigh, right hand over to the left. And inhale, right hand on the right thigh, exhale to the right. Lower the hand, left hand down, right hand to the left. And let's do that one more time. Just switch. And then the other way to the left. And then let's lower the hands down. And take your shoulders, lift the shoulders up to your ears and roll them back. Inhale, lift and roll them back. And then lift your shoulders up and roll them forward and roll forward. So loosening up the hip, the shoulder joints. Now I want you to take your head and drop it to the right. Now you have the option of just leaving it like this, or adding a little extra by wrapping your arm around your head, if you can do this comfortably. And what you're doing here is you're letting your head just nestle into that right arm. So you feel the wonderful stretch in that left shoulder. So feeling that stretch, and now bring your chin and angle it towards your right side of the chest. And then lift your head back up, and then release that arm from the head and bring your head back up. Then take your head to the left and hold for a moment. And then sweep your left arm up over. And nestle your head into that arm, and just let the head rest in the arm. It's not there to tug your neck. You don't want to force your neck to bend. Just let it bend as far as it feels good. And then let's bring your chin towards your left side of your chest and stretch out the back. And then lift your head back up and then release that arm and lift your head back up. Bring your chin to your chest. We're just working your chin, pick your chin up and then to your chest. This time when you pick your chin up, I want you to open your mouth, go ah, and then bring your chin to your chest and then lift up and open your mouth, go ah, and then chin to your chest. So working muscles in your face and in your mouth, around your mouth, lift up and open your mouth. And then let's come back down. So what we're going to do for a breathing exercise before we come up, it's called the lion's breath. And you're going to take an inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, lean forward. Think of a lion with your hands or your paws. And your feet are your paws. And you're leaning forward and you stick your tongue out and you go clearing out the lungs. Take a breath in. Bring your chin towards your chest. Pull your belly in and then exhale, go. You can even open up your eyes wide if you'd like. Exhale. Inhale through the nose and exhale through your mouth, go. And then sit up nice and tall. Let's deepen the breath. Let's take a breath in. Expand the tummy. And then exhale, pull the tummy in. And then inhale. And exhale. Now from here, I want you to turn to the right foot. You can have your weights handy. Now I know not everybody has weights. You don't need them. They're just there if you, these are 2 pounds, but I usually recommend 1 pound weights. Or a can of soup or something like that. But what I want you to do is bend your left knee, square your chest forward. Before we do anything with the weights, take your hands on your right thigh and I want you to push the hands forward, then slide the hands back on your leg and press back, opening up your chest. You should feel a stretch in your left thigh. Take a breath in. Let the shoulders relax here. And then I want you to just lean forward, come all the way down. Maybe your tummy can lie on your thigh and then lift back up. And this time, if you want to include the arms, reach the arms up and lean back. And then place the hands on the thighs. Now, pick up your weight or not. If you don't have a weight, or even if you have a weight, I want you to imagine you're doing your exercise in water. So you're creating your own resistance. Lift your elbow up and then just place the elbow down. Bring it actually to your hip and lift up. And then bring it back to your hip. So your elbow's at a 90-degree angle. Squeeze it in. Mine wasn't. But squeeze it in, as we should all do. And then back, and then stop at your hip. Lift back, stop at your hip. Working the back of your arm, the tricep. Now we're going to lean back. We're going to hold and then straighten. And then bring back and just let it rest on your hip. And then back and let it sit on your hip, back, and sit on your hip. So you're working your legs as you're working, the same time you're working your arms. Now, what we're going to do here, no, we won't do that one. That's back, and then let's come forward. Let's stay here for a moment and just spin forward with the feet wide. And then take your left arm, we're still working the left arm. Reach that left arm up, just to your shoulder, and lower down, but come slowly. Don't drop it quickly. Use your own resistance slowly, and then lower down. Inhale, lift, and then down. This time you're going to lift, and then you're going to sweep over to the left, out to the side, and then sweep it back. And if you find, okay, you've had enough of the weight, take the weight, put the weight down and do it without the weight. Lift up and then over to the left. One more time, forward and lower. And then place the weight down, and then bring it, keep it near you. Let's swing around to the left side, foot on the left foot on the ground, right foot behind you. See if you can bring it in a little bit closer so it's almost at a 90-degree angle. Chest is pointing forward. Hands are on the thighs, the left thigh. So you're going to take a breath in and you're going to lean back, slide the hands toward your hip crease. You should feel some sensation in that right thigh. And then take an inhale, lean forward and let yourself lean forward, maybe actually touching tummy to thigh. And then take an inhale, lift back up and reach your arms up. And lean back. And then come up nice and tall, grab hold of your weight, take your right arm back, create that 90-degree angle and stop at your hip. And then lift back up and down. So working your tricep up and down. So right now you're probably feeling more shoulder than tricep. And this time I want you to lift the elbow up and straighten the arm. So now we're targeting the tricep. Stay up here. Keep the elbow lifted, back. When we think of senior classes, we think of, sitting on a chair and doing barely anything. It's not true. There's a lot of things that we do in the senior classes that are actually sometimes even harder than a typical mat yoga class. We're doing more strength. And then now I want you to take place that right hand on your thigh, open up the legs, come back to the center, right on the front of your chair. Right arm, just the right arm. Now if you ever have any problem, because I have a shoulder issue, so I might need to support my right arm and lower down and lift up. So I'm going to do that, but you don't have to do that. Just to show you alternatives, you just hold and then you lower down. Support it with your right arm. Now take it in, let's do a few more of these. And one more time down, and this time lift up and then bring the arm out so you can continue to support. I neglected to mention that in the first side, but you can do that, next time you turn this video on. Lift up and open. So now you know what to do, right? Sometimes you have to do things a few times before you get them. And then lift up, and one more time, open, and then bring it forward, and then lower it down. Make sure when all your props are out of your way so you don't trip on them. Let's bring the legs together. We're going to do we've worked our arms for a little bit. We're going to concentrate on our feet. So what I want to do is, you don't have to use the ball for this. But we won't for a second. I'll come back to it. Just warm up our feet. I want you to come onto the heels, come onto the toes, roll the toes, roll onto the toes, roll onto the heels, roll onto the toes, roll onto the heels. At the same time, you're not sitting with your shoulders hunched. You're sitting tall, keeping that core nice and strong here. You can even put your hands on your waist if you'd like, so that you can actually make sure that you do. And then what we're going to do is you're going to take that ball, and you don't have to use actually the ball if you don't have one. We're going to roll the ball. So you're going to continue to roll on your foot if you don't have a ball. If you have a ball, I want you to roll the ball forward and back. So I'll spin around so you can see me. So forward and back, and forward and back. So as you do this, push with the heel and then bring the ball back towards you, lift up tall. So you're at the same time you're working your foot and your legs, you're working these tummy muscles, and forward and then pull it back. So inhale, straighten, exhale, bring the leg in, inhale, straighten, leg in. Inhale, straighten and leg in. Now this time, take that foot on the ball and just lift, and then lift the left leg up, okay? And just see if you can, I know it's a little bit of a balance. You're not standing, but it requires a little bit of a balance. Take your left foot down. Now take your right foot. We're still on the right leg. See, this ball is only about 3/4 full. You don't inflate it till it's a hard ball. It has to have some give to it, quite a lot of give. You can take your hands underneath your thigh if you need to, and I want you to hold on to that ball and then place it down. You can do it without the hands or with the hands. So grab hold of the ball, pick it up, and then lower it down. Grab hold of the ball, lift up, lower it down. Lots of beautiful leg work. Now I want you to actually bring the leg out to the right and place it down. If you're starting to have cramps, just circle them around. Maybe don't do any more of the ball version, but just do it without the ball, over to the right, and then down. And then we're going to come to the left side. So you're going to feel some, just shake it out. Shake it out, do the little shake. This is a good one. Okay, left foot. Now you know what to do. Sit up tall. Roll the ball forward with the heel and back. And back and forward without the ball. You're pretending you're on a ball. Forward and back. Forward, and these are very easy to buy. They're very cheap. And back. So I want you to concentrate on inhaling, straighten, and exhale, pull the ball in. Inhale, straighten. Pull the ball in, inhale, straighten, and pull the ball in. One more time, inhale, straighten, and then, before I forget what I know. Bring the ball underneath your foot, 90-degree angle, pick your right foot up, let your arms, maybe even this time lift your arms up, so you're balancing on the ball. You might find this pretty easy, but you're still using lots of muscles to stay on the ball, and then lower that right foot down. Now either place the hands underneath the thigh or not. Roll the ball forward, and I want you to lift up the ball with the toes. Lift up and lower. Lift up and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift and lower. Lift and lower. This time lift and open to the side. Might support, swing it back, down. Lift up, to the side, up, down, lift up, to the side, out, down. And one more time, I think we might have done a little extra on this side. Back and down. You could just drop it down. Let's sit back, let's just circle the ankle around. It doesn't matter which leg you started, just circle them. Loosen up those feet, and then the other foot, round and round. Notice, just take a look at them and see, or how they feel. Do they feel pretty clunky? Is it hard to circle? Does it feel like it's hard work? These are just signs that you need to do more circles. You have to keep your ankles healthy, because they're usually often the very first things that start to go. Let's come up to standing. Just reminding you, you don't have to come off chairs. But we do some work without where the chair is just the support for us, or sometimes we don't even need the chair. So what I want us to do is open up into a ballet, a plie shape with the feet quite wide. Now I think I'm going to, let me think what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to use the weights for this one. You don't have to use weights. You don't need to have anything in your hands. Toes are out, and you're going to bend and then straighten. So this is just for right now. All the weights are doing are hanging forward, adding a little extra weight to your plie. So you don't have to go as low as me. You can go half the way down, and as you come up, I want you to pull up through the glute muscles, so your bottom cheeks, and then exhale down, inhale, squeeze, and then inhale down, exhale, squeeze, inhale down, and exhale, squeeze. I'm changing the breathing. Now you have an option. You can take one arm forward. We're going to alternate. Just as high as your shoulder. Alternate. Don't forget your bottom cheeks. The most important thing right now is that you're working the legs and your glute muscles, so the quads. Now, what we're going to do is hold this for a moment and do some pulsing. So your arms are either hanging down, or you can bring your arms up, and you're going to pulse and pulse and pulse. And you can do this on the chair. You can do this like this. So I'm going to have my weights in front of me, and we're going to pulse and pulse, or no weights. You can put your hands on your thighs, pulse and pulse. So you're not coming up straight, you're just doing up and down, up and down. There's multiple ways you can do this. Now bring your hands on your thighs. Let's do it that way. Now what we're going to do is you're going to turn your toes forward. You're going to just shake it out. And we're going to bend to the right, bend to the left. And if you start to have any knee issues, then make the bends very gentle, or just don't bend the knees. You might just sway from side to side instead. So bend, bend, so bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Now from here, I want you just simply to turn your toes forward, turn your back toes forward too. So heel toe that right foot out to the right, and left toes are turned so they're pointing almost straight, but they're on a little 45-degree angle. So we're going to bend the knee, and you can do this facing the chair as well, holding onto the chair, or you bend your front knee, make sure it's not beyond your ankle, and you can bring your weights or the weightless hands back. So you're reaching back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and forward with the arms, squeezing. So now we're working our upper back muscles, the trapezius muscles. And then, so when the elbows lift, squeeze them together and then forward. Lift and squeeze together and forward. Now from here, step your left foot forward, shake it out. Just step your right foot back. Make sure your feet are hip distance. I'm going to do it from this angle with the chair, so you can hold on to the chair, or have it there for you just in case. I'll turn around again since you might still be on this side. Make sure feet are hip distance apart. Back toes are pointing on a little diagonal. Left toes are pointing straight. What am I going to do here? I think I'm going to do the same thing. You're going to lift the elbows and reach the arms forward. Now as you lift, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Reach the arms forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Forward and squeeze. Forward and squeeze. And that's release and step forward. Take your weights, place them away from you. Shake out your legs, shake out your arms. Loosen up, loosen up, loosen up, loosen up, loosen up. Loosen everything up. Don't tell me this doesn't feel good. It might feel funny, silly, but it feels good. So we're going to do just a few little things, movements, a little bit of a dance to wake ourselves up, wake our legs, flush out all that work that we've just done. So we're going to just let the arms sway naturally. So you're going to bend and straighten, do a little bit of this. And then we're going to start to sway a little bit more, straighten and bend. Let it be your thing. Doesn't have to be what I'm doing. And then you can let the arms float a little bit higher. Get the heart rate up a little bit more. And then just keep just a few more times. And then come back to stillness, shake out those wrists, shake out those arms. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of a walk, but a fast walk, but in place, obviously. So get the arms moving, get the knees moving, get your go. If you've been doing a lot of physical stuff already, and you don't want to move like this, then make it slow, just do it slower. But if you need a little bit of energy, burn a little bit of calories, then feel free to follow me, my pace. You could do this sitting on a chair. Just lift your legs up. Go a little faster if you can. Get the arms moving. Breathing. Don't hold your breath here. And start to slow down, 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 slow down. And then from here, just do a little bit of a sway again, back to the sways. I always laugh because I can see myself. I do look kind of funny. Okay, so stand up nice and tall. And let's bring the feet together. Let's use our chair for this stretch. Bring your feet together, left hand on the chair, or whatever side you're on, and stretch over towards the chair. And push your hips a little further away so you get a full, a more intense stretch in that right hip. Oh, feel that stretch. Just hold it for just another moment. And then lift back up. So all you have to do is, I'm going to turn my chair around, but you can just turn around on the chair. Feet together, and let's go in the other direction. Lift that opposite, the other arm, and stretch towards the chair, but in the opposite way. Take your left hip, push it away, creating what they call it's kind of like a rainbow. It's called crescent shape, or the shape of a rainbow. Push, push, push the hip, keep the feet on the ground, and then lift back up. Let's do a downward dog to stretch out the back. Place the hands on the top of the chair, press back. And then let's walk back up. And then come all the way up to standing. Pubic bone against the back of the chair or close to it. Hands on the chair, and then lift your chest. Do a little tiny back bend, as long as it doesn't hurt your lower back. All you're doing is taking your chest, lifting it, is telescoping it up towards the ceiling, and then release. Little shakes. Okay, let's come onto our chair as we finish up. So let's do a few little cats and cows here to free up our spines, a little bit of a dynamic stretch for our backs. So what I mean by, if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, you're leaning forward and you're pressing back. Cats and cows, the cow version. The cow shape is when your chest is forward, your lower back is arched. And the cat is when you're round at the spine, so it's a full, it's like what you're doing is doming that spine, pushing it backwards and then lifting forward. These are postures in yoga, they're called cat and cows. And then from here, let's just take one last moment. Let your hands either come all the way to the ground, or you can place your hands on the thighs. See if you're okay to drop your head, look back. Deepen the breath. Let's start to even out the breath. If you haven't exercised in a while, you might find that your breathing has sped up, and that just tells you that you're doing work, that you're working, you're getting some exercise, much needed exercise. We have to continue to move, not just once a week, but every day. Okay. So now we're back on where we began our practice. This time we're going to inhale the arms up to the sky. And then we're going to exhale, lower the hands down. Then inhale, lift up. Deep breath in, exhale, lower down. This time inhale, lift, and let the hands come together above the head. Float the hands all the way down to your heart and stop. And this is how what I call seals of practice. We complete the practice by bringing our hands in front of our heart in this gesture of gratitude that we are here together, keeping ourselves healthy and well. And it's all about taking care of ourselves. That's what it's about. I know it sounds kind of very, in our, especially maybe how we were raised, it might feel like it's selfish, but it's essential that we stay healthy and well. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day, or whatever time of the day you're watching this. Namaste, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane, and I'll see you soon.